Good morning, class, and welcome to your virtual course. My name is Dr. Araipur. You can call me Dr. A. I have sent you several emails / announcements, and I hope you've had a chance to explore the course. When you go to the home page of Canvas, I've set this up. So you just follow the numbers. Number one, there was a video message welcoming you to the course. I'm very happy to have you here. And I'm sure we will have a wonderful semester. I wish you all best of luck in every educational endeavor you may have. Number two is the class philosophy, course objectives, instructors, contact info. So let's start with the class philosophy.
Class philosophy. This class is a community and therefore, we all have the same objective, to learn. Online students often feel isolated, but it is vitally important to know you are not in this alone. I would like each of you to approach our online class with a great attitude and a willingness to help one another. Many problems and questions can be resolved by asking a fellow student. I am always here to help you, but I truly believe your experience will be more fruitful if you communicate with your fellow students as well. Let us work together to make this a memorable semester for each and every one of us.
The next one is the course objective.
Course objectives. The objectives of our statistics course are about the use of probability techniques, hypothesis testing, and predictive techniques to facilitate decision making. Topics include descriptive statistics, probability and sampling distributions, statistical inference, correlation and linear regression, analysis of variance, chi-square and t-tests, and application of technology for statistical analysis including the interpretation of the relevance of the statistical findings. Applications using data from disciplines including business, social sciences, psychology, life science, health science, and education.
Perfect. And also, to contact me, you can email me via Canvas, or just the email address is mra4@lbcc.edu. I'll go back to the home page of Canvas. The next one is announcements. So let me put this in student mode, student view. Many of the emails that I send you, you can find them under the announcements. Not all of them, but most of them. And for now, there have been several emails, announcements about recorded orientation. This is an older one. We're going to put the new one here. Then welcome and orientation. Exemption to orientation. It explains how to be exempt. You're already here. Then I sent 3 emails a couple of weeks ago about the course, a week ago, and then a couple of days ago to remind you about the course. Going back to the home page. And getting out of the student mode. The next one is number 4. Number 4 is about the syllabus, modules, homework, practice test, discussion forums, the optional sample test on the left side. This is the office hours, and you don't want to mix them up with our meeting. Our meeting, you click on Tech Connect Zoom. I want to first show you that on the Tech Connect Zoom. This is where we meet, and if it's in student mode, over here, instead of start, you would see join. So now let's explore all of this under number 4. Starting with the syllabus, you can click on the syllabus here or on the left navigation bar. Either way makes no difference. So if we click on that, we see the syllabus and we see the calendar. And normally the calendar is underneath the syllabus, within the syllabus, but I want it to be separate because I thought it's very important. We don't want to miss that. So if you look at the calendar, here's what you find. The very first assignment, a mandatory introduction assignment to my OpenMath, is due in a couple of days. That has got nothing to do with the course. It's just getting you ready to use your digital platform to do your homework. We do the homework in my OpenMath, which I'm going to refer to it as MOM from now on. And if you look at this calendar, the very first exam happens in a few weeks, in week 3, exam 1. And all the exams, I've set them up so you take them while you're very comfortable, and that's on Saturdays. Okay, we will discuss that further as we get closer and closer to the exam date. So you can take them on Saturdays. There is no proctorio. I'm assuming everybody's here because we want to learn. So now let me actually go over the syllabus. Of course, first, welcoming you to the course. Then we have the syllabus, and I put them in topic format in case you're interested in a specific topic and you want to explore that. So obviously we start with the course name and the date and the time that we meet, student learning outcomes and objectives and so on. Again, we've gone over the synopsis of that. The text is free. You can access it here. Or when we go to MOM, my OpenMath, I will show you how to access that. The online assignment takes place in a digital platform called My OpenMath. We're going to refer to it as MOM from now on, and everything is free. Then the class calendar, as you scroll down, it talks about the Zoom meeting, and then the exams. As I mentioned, all of them take place on Saturdays. Okay. There will be no proctorio exam. Now, exams expire at 11:59, but remember, you are given, let's say, for example, 2 hours. If you start at 11, you have only 59 minutes. So that's why I don't want you to start any later than 8 or 9, because besides the fact that you want to have enough time, you want to be relaxed. All the exam reviews take place prior weeks to exam during the class meetings. Now, attending review sessions is highly recommended to succeed in the course. However, all exam reviews are recorded and posted under the recorded practice test lecture tab in Canvas. And again, all exams expire at 11:59 on their due day. You may take the exam anytime on that day, but no later than 8 p.m. to be on the safe side. I want to make sure everybody understands. I'm going to send an email/announcement in case you missed the email. You can always find it under the announcement, the explanation about the exam, how many questions, how much time, and the password. Okay. But from the time you receive that email, you can take the exam. Okay. But no later than, of course, the Saturday that it expires, a few hours before the expiration. Then the meetings, Tuesdays and Thursdays, calculators. For statistics, you can use a graphing calculator. TI calculators are recommended. However, I will show you some of the online calculators that are free. You're more than welcome to use them. You can also use your tables, formula sheets, and I'll show you where to find them. The tech support for the publisher, My OpenMath, for Canvas, for Campus, everything is here. If something comes up, you can contact them for help. Math Success Center. Okay, the tutoring center is available to you, of course, for free. There are other websites that are helpful. This is probably the most important thing to students, grading policy. Online homework is 200 points. You can do the homework as long as it's done before the due date. You can take as many times as you want to do a question or a homework, and as long as it takes, it doesn't matter. In other words, you start the homework, you do a few questions, then you go and come back a few hours later to finish it. That's absolutely fine, which is not the case for the exams, by the way. We have review, participation, discussion board. There are 5 of them. Each one is 20 points. 5 times 20 is 100 points. So I'll show you in a moment. There are 4 exams, 100 points each, and the final, which is comprehensive, 300 points. The final is based on the previous exams mainly. So 70% of the exam, the final exam questions are similar to questions from the previous 4 exams. A total of 1,000 points.
Yes, I have a question.
Please wait. At the end, I will answer all your questions at the end. Please, I'm
Okay.
recording. I will gladly answer every question. 90% or higher, that means 900 or more, is an A. 80% or higher, that means 800 or more is higher, is a B. 70% or above, 700 points or more is a high. Again, just quickly, class, during the orientation, I will try to answer every question you have. When we are done, believe me, you get a chance to ask any questions you may have. All right. Also, there is no makeup policy unless something comes up and you can give me documentation acceptable by the campus. However, the reason I say that, the main reason, you're taking the exam anytime you want after you receive the email and before it expires on Saturdays. You must take all the exams. Your lowest grade before the final may be replaced by the final, as long as the final is good. That means B or 80% or higher. Homework and discussion forums are both at 90% or higher. And when we do that, this action will result in a higher letter. The course late work, there are some assignments that you may be able to do them late for a 10% reduction on a normal basis. Students who do that, they get behind, they can't catch up. Not recommended by any means. Discussion forums, there is no late work. And there are other things here, okay? A time frame for exam and inquiries. This is what's interesting. CSU LB 36, I want everybody to pay attention to that. And you can look up the information in the website. Basically, we need to put 3 times the number of units hours per week to be successful in this course. That means it's a 4-unit course and minimum we need 12 hours to be on the safe side. As far as dropping policy, I just follow the campus policy in short. But in general, if you miss the orientation or start, don't register with the publisher, miss the assignments or the first exams, you will be dropped. Then there are more helpful websites and information about DSPS, financial aid, so on and so forth. Let me look at the summary steps to success. You can study the PowerPoints in each module, do the homework, and there are video lectures that are embedded in homework. Some homework have video lecture per question, some they have it for some of the questions. Study the practice test and their solution, post question in the discussion forum, send the question via Canvas inbox or campus email, and attend the review session and take the exam. The information about the student office hours is posted here, as well as the home page of Canvas. This is the office hours. And as we go through this, there are more important information and helpful information, such as basic needs, Justice Scholar programs, and I want to discuss what they call netiquette for online learning. And there are a lot of guidelines here, but what I want to mention in short, I'm hoping we are all here to learn, and I will learn from you as well. And it's all with being professional and courteous, okay? Also, when you write an email, it is important to have correct spelling and grammar. This is a college course, and so please make sure you have proper spelling, proper grammar, and always in the subject, write the proper subject and the course that you're in. Make sure your email has your full name as it appears on the roll sheet. So with a positive tone and respect for one another, okay? So that's the synopsis of the syllabus, everybody. Going back to the home page of Canvas. You can click on the modules here or on the left navigation bar. So I want to show you what happens when we go to modules. Number one, again, let me put this in student mode, student view. This is where you access your digital platform. There is no need for a course ID because you are using Canvas to get to My Open Math. If you click on that, what it does, first and foremost, it asks for username and password if you have an account. If you don't, what do? You create an account by filling up the information. Okay, everybody? Fill up the information, create an account. So what happens afterward, I'll show you when we go back to My Open Math. So the first one takes you to your digital platform where you do your homework and exams. Then we have modules, exam 1 module, exam 2, exam 3, exam 4. And module 5 is part of the final. So in addition to those 4 modules. So I'm going to discuss one of those modules and the rest become clear. What comes after module 5, these are some resources, everybody. What resources do we have? Here's the formulas. You can use the formulas during the exam. I have posted them for you. So we have the formulas here. And I've tried to put them in some sort of order for exams. Okay, everybody? So the first one is formulas. Going back to the module. And the last one. The second one, tables. Again, you may even find them online. But I have the tables here. There are a lot of tables in statistics. For example, you have the z-score, the t-table, chi-square table, and so on. Again, back to the module. So this last one is the resources. We have the formulas, we have the tables, and this one is about TI-80 384 calculators. So what we find there, a lot of interesting stuff. First of all, I have some commands that you can use for statistics. Remember, when you do statistics, you have to show your work with proper formulas because just the calculator work is not enough. Also, I have put some information as to the possibility of being able to get the emulator that gives you this calculator. Okay, now I've got to be honest with you, sometimes it's very difficult to make this work, but please examine that, see if you can download it to your computer. And again, there's really not much I can help you with. I just followed the YouTube information here, and it just sometimes work out, sometimes it doesn't. These are the commands. Then I have more calculators here, and I will show you those calculators in also My Open Math. There are many, many, many online calculators. For example, this is one of them. And what you should do If you have a calculator of your own, more power to you. If you don't, and you don't want to purchase anything, just explore those, see which one works the best for you. Okay, class? The online ones. Going back to the modules again. So at the end, the resources were explained. So we're going to go back up to the first module. Notice what we have. I start with stat PT. This is practice test, everybody. Then chapter 1, PowerPoints. Chapter 2, PowerPoints. Chapter 3, PowerPoints. And then the solution. Why do I start with the practice test? I want to explain this to you. First of all, either download this into your computer or print this. Secondly, take about 5 minutes to read the whole thing. The purpose of this is to show you what involves as far as module 1, exam 1 is concerned. So this is the synopsis of what you need to know to be successful for the first one. And by the way, the first exam, at least the first chapter, is mostly just definitions. There is not much to it, okay? But when we get to work that requires formulas, I start working out and showing work with formulas, going back to the modules. What happens now, we have the PowerPoints, and as you study them, then the practice test, you can do 1 or 2 questions per day. You don't have to do a lot, but as you go through the PowerPoints, you recognize which questions you can do. That's why I want you to read the questions first. So for example, if you click on chapter 1 here, class, you see the PowerPoints. If I go over the first one, if you download this and put this in slide mode, when you go through that, it gives you a page. It's not going to give you the whole page. It's going to give you line by line or paragraph by paragraph. And the importance of that is when you get to examples. For example, you get to this example and you want to solve it. It's not going to show you the solution. It's just going to give you the example. And then step by step, this question is solved. So the PowerPoints, you want to download them and put them in slide mode. If I go back, then you can go to the next one and the next one. And the first chapter has 3 sections. And you can look at other chapters, for example. And again, I'm not going to bother with that. If you go to chapter 2, it's the same thing. It has a few sections, chapter 3. And so as you go through one chapter, let's say you finish the first chapter, you can do a few questions on your practice test, and you can do the homework for those sections. What comes at the end of a module in Canvas? Take a look. This is a solution. This is a solution to this practice test. This practice test that was in the beginning. Now you have the solution with details, everybody. Okay? Please, don't look at the solution until you're done. I recommend you be done with the practice test a week before the exam so you get a chance to master this practice test, and therefore you will have an easy time with your exam. So every question is done with details. So you have the practice test and you have a solution to practice test. Going back to the modules. So for now, you want to be concerned with the first module and the first module only. Practice test, PowerPoints, and then solution to practice. Going back to the home page of Canvas. We discussed everything, and homework and everything is done in My Open Math. I'll go over that later on. A discussion forum, you can click on it here or on the left navigation bar. If you click on the discussion forum, what do you see? Number 1, you see student bios. I put mine as a sample. Then you can reply and put yours. I highly recommend you put a bio and you read your fellow students. If you want to answer anyone or comment on anyone, please do so friendly and with respect, please. The second one is FAQ, frequently asked questions. In the past, students have asked questions, and I thought it was general. I put them here. For example, how to use the math editor. Do I need a course ID? The answer is no. Please, before you send any email for questions, read this frequently asked questions, tech support, so on and so forth. One of the things that happens almost every semester, where do I find the exam password? And that's very strange to me because it is emailed to everybody a week in advance. See, right now, if I go to the announcements, because it's in student modes, you have a few of them. If I change the student view, some of the announcements coming up will show up. So you will have this announcement / email. This will be sent to you. And this is the one that will give you the information about the exam. How many questions, how much time you have, and your password. Going back to the discussion forum. So we have the student bios, we have the frequently asked questions. Now, after that, you see module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 discussion forums here, and they are worth 20 points each. These are the ones that are worth 20 points each. So how do we deal with that? So I'm going to quickly show you.
You are required to post, at least, one question and its solution either from practice test number 1 posted under the modules, or any source of your choice, per grading policy in the syllabus. You must read all the posts and make sure not to duplicate any questions. Similar questions are acceptable. Read all the posts, questions and solutions posted by others first, and pick a different question to post. No duplication is allowed. A question with one-word solution, one-line solution, or definition is not acceptable and results in 0 points for the post. 10 points. Write the question number and copy down the question. Show all steps using the math equation editor or embed an image solution as explained below. Find a similar problem online, or on YouTube, or Khan Academy and post the link. 5 points. Comment on, explain, at least one classmate question that is either solved or is found online and posted by watching it carefully in its entirety. Explain about what the question addressed and what you learned from it and outline a few steps you learned as a result. A compliment is nice but is not a comment. 5 points. Example of a student post, made up example.
All right. So make sure anytime you do a discussion forum, you read this first so you follow the instruction accordingly. In short, the first one, which gives you 10 points, you pick a question and you write the question and the solution with details. By the way, it can't be a file that students can't see. You can't upload a PDF file. There has to be a work step by step shown. You can even upload an image that students can see. That's fine. You can do it in a piece of paper and upload it. I've explained all of that. And it has to be a worthy question. So make sure you have a worthy question. Then you find a similar question that gives you 5 points on YouTube or so forth. Then your comment, it's 5 points. What is the comment? You can't say, okay, thank you so much. I learned a lot. That's not a comment. What did you learn? Okay. Your comment must be in a manner that if somebody else is reading your comment, they can see what that student has written in essence. I made up an example here. So take a look. I have a question. I wrote the question I'm interested in finding the mean, median, and mode, and so forth, and range. I show it with formulas, step by step. So not only I have the question, I have the solution step by step. I find a similar question online, okay, on YouTube, and I put it here. And then I'm commenting on somebody's post. Again, I'm making this up, and I'm explaining about the z-score and what I've learned. Okay. Then how do I embed an image? If for any reason you have a hard time writing using the equation editor, look at the bottom one. How do you use the math editor? You can actually use the math editor to write when you reply. You can use a math editor. So you always reply to this one, not to somebody else's. Reply to this one unless you are commenting, then you reply to that student. So you reply and you can use a math editor to write your question, write your solution, or just if you did it in a piece of paper, you can upload it, and this video explains how. If I go back to the discussion forum, please understand we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Each one is worth 20 points, total of 100 points. I'll go back to the home page, and as we scroll down, I want to show you the sample test solution on the left side. This sample test solution class, I want you to make a note of this website in case, and you really don't need that, in case something happens and Canvas is down. So for example, practice test number 1, that means module 1. We have the PowerPoints here, practice test, solution to practice test, all the videos that we discussed, everything is here, and then you go for test 2 and so on. Do you need this? No. Why did I put that here? In case something goes wrong and you don't have access to Canvas, make a note of that. Otherwise, you don't need that. Okay. What else can we find on this homepage before I go over my Open Math? On the left navigation bar, you see this recorded practice test lectures. I have those practice tests. Remember, we had the practice tests, right? Then we had their solution. Now we also have the recording of those solutions in the form of a PowerPoint with details, everybody, with details. And this is the latest one. These are recorded previously. And these are my lectures. Everything you can find on a YouTube channel. So everything that you need is provided to you. Okay, everybody? Let's close this. Going back to this. So going back to the home page, we looked at the recorded practice test. Okay. The sample test, you don't need it unless something goes wrong with Canvas. Take Connect Zoom. This is where you attend the Zoom meeting. Math Success Center. Math Success Center takes you to a different canvas. This is the tutoring center. I highly recommend you spend a few minutes going over what they have to offer you. They have the hours for fall 2023. They have various tutoring. They also have something called Net Tutor. I believe it's 24 hours a day. They have free walk-up tutoring. They have even free calculator loan program. Again, you can click on it and see what the criteria are. If you have a calculator, more power to you. If you need a calculator, I will show you the online calculators you can use. If you physically need a calculator, you can go get it from them. Okay. And over here, for various courses, whatever courses that you're taking, for now, as far as we are concerned, statistics, but they have it for basically all courses that are offered through the math department. So that's Math Success Center. I'm gonna close that up. So what else do we have? Let's go back to the home page. And speaking of the homework and exams, we have to go to my open math. I will show you, but before we go there, remember, you can find the student office hours at the end of the page of the homepage of the Canvas. Also, you can find it in the syllabus. So let me close this. So here's my open math. So you register, remember, under the module. It will take you there. It starts at the very top with the assignment, which is Introduction to my open math. Okay. And it has to be done immediately. The purpose of that is to get familiar with my open math. It's got nothing to do with necessarily this course. So for example, it says, put this number. Okay, so 63.6975. No round. Now we're going to put the same number, but this time we're going to round it to the hundreds. So hundreds, that means go to 9, the second one. And 9 go, because next to it is 7. If it was less than 5, we wouldn't. 5 and up, this goes up to 10. So this becomes 7 and becomes 63.70. It says divide by 0. As you know, we can't divide by 0. That means it's undefined. If you click on it, they don't have undefined. They have D&E. D&E stands for does not exist. And so if you submit the question, what happens, class? It's going to check mark it. This is check mark it, meaning we didn't make a mistake. But let's say we made a mistake. Okay, let me just put something here wrong. Let's say 0.5, which is not 1/3. 1/3 is 0.3 bar. Okay, and so if I submit the question, what happens is that this will be wrong, and this is extremely slow now. This will be wrong. So what do? You can get a similar question, class, and do it from the scratch. That's why you can do it as many times as you want, basically. So you can get a similar question, answer the question. Something comes up in the middle of the work, you have to leave. If you click on done, it will register your grade for the first one. So if you go back to your grade book, you can see that. However, what this means is that I can come back anytime before the due date, resume as I do more and more, my grade gets updated. Or at this point, I'm going to exit. So I hope you realize I already have my grade posted in the grade book. Your grade book may not be up here, but in your grade book. And then you can update it as you do more. What comes next? You don't have to worry about the exams yet, but when the time comes, if you click on it, it has the exams and some information, and they're all password protected. You can't use them yet. As I mentioned, it will be posted. It will be sent to you and posted in the announcement. Here's the course description. What I want you to notice is the calendar. Number 1, this is number 4, and you can change it to any number that shows the number of weeks. Number 2, the very first assignment is due pretty soon. I highly recommend you do it today immediately, because you have a lot to do. Then look at the exam 1. Exam 1 takes place here. All of the homework for exam 1 are due before exam 1, the day before the exam 1. Please do your homework on a daily basis. If you wait until the due date, you will not make it in this course. So on a regular basis. On a weekly basis, you do a couple of sections. Normally, if you do a section per day, that works best. One section per day, okay? And by the time you get to the exam week, you really should have nothing to do but study your practice test in order to do well in the course, okay? Please pay attention to this. Don't wait until the last moment. You won't have enough time to digest every part of the course to be ready for the exam. Then we have module 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. Modules 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the modules that are just like the Canvas, but over here we have the homework. So what is module 0? Class, module 0 is all resources. You explore them, you don't need them, put them away. But I'm going to quickly explain what you find under module 0. So module 0 of Canvas. The first thing first, here's the text, everybody. And this text has the sections that we cover in its proper order. Okay, everybody, it's in proper order. Okay, it's extremely slow today, and I'm surprised. But anyways, so you have it's not coming up. It's going to come up soon. But this, okay, so it's coming up. Yeah, boy. Okay, so just the same sections that you saw in Canvas in my lecture and everything. However, this is based on this text, which is from OpenStax. What is the difference? The difference is on the left side, you can view online, you can download a PDF. If you click on view online, again, the order is slightly different here, but the difference is it's a lot easier to navigate the text here. If you need the text, some students may not even need that, but the text here has the proper order based on the text here. Okay, class? Which may not have the proper order, but it's a lot easier to navigate. You can easily go to a section of interest. You see that? Going back to my open map. So that's the text first. What comes next? How to use a late pass, but you have to use it before the due date. Calendar, grade book, so on and so forth. Then we have the flow charts, formula sheets. You remember the formula sheets in Canvas. We also have them here in case tables, you name it. PowerPoint formula sheet for all chapters, multimedia library. Now, this is interesting, everybody. Free online calculators. There are so many of them. Please, if you want to work with online calculators, you have to explore them and get familiar with those a little bit, okay? Most of them are statistics calculator. For example, this one is called Statistic Calculator Social Science website, okay? Star Trek calculator, standard deviation, Poisson distribution, Desmond's calculator. This is just, by the way, if for any other course you need a scientific calculator, it's just right here. Just a basic scientific calculator. So it's fascinating. So all of the resources here. Now, how do you use a TI calculator? If you remember, I had something in under the module of MOM, and there are more informations here. Instructor resources, more videos, how to use the calculators. This one, later on when we do the test of hypothesis, we learn about the concept of a p-value, and the p-value calculator may be handy. I'm showing you all types of calculators and more online calculators and website. We have Desmos, and a video that explains how to use it. Then we have, take a look, online stat calculator, daily schedule calculator, study schedule. There are tons and tons of resources, class. Please take a few minutes of your time and look at this module 0. Again, you may not need any of that. That's fine. But these are all the resources I put for you here. And again, calculators are free. I believe students shouldn't pay for anything. So explore it, see what works for you. As far as you're concerned, your work starts with module 1. Here's chapter 1. Let me just actually close them up first. So those are closed up. Chapter 1, you open it up. It has 1.1. So what do you find? Notice, first watch these video lectures, then do the homework assignments, report broken. If any link is broken, please report it. Some students don't even look at the PowerPoints and even my video lectures, although I recommend you do that. But at the very least, if you don't watch these videos, none of them is long, everybody. Those are my videos, instructors' video lecture. Those are other recommended video lectures. And then here's the homework. If you don't get a chance to see any of them, just watch the ones in red. Notice what happens when we go to 1.2. It repeats. First, watch these videos. Again, if you're ready and you know the topic, you may not want to do that. Those are instructor videos. I would really explore all of those and see what works best for me. These are other recommended videos by other professors. And then the homework. So one of those homeworks, for example, here, if you click on it, it's the same way it says in a study, the data you collect is letter grade A, B, C, D. Is it quantitative or qualitative? So it's qualitative, and if I submit the question, it check marks and gives me point. Notice, it also has a video next to it. So if I don't know anything about quantitative and qualitative, I didn't watch the previous videos, I didn't watch the PowerPoint, I didn't do anything, I can watch these videos. The second one has a video. The third one has a video. The fourth one has a video. Number 5 doesn't have a video because by then you know what to do. The point being, many of these homework questions have videos. Again, not all of them, but many do. And just as we did with the introductory assignment, let's say we answer this question, something comes up, we can't continue. If I click on done, this is registered in the gradebook for me. I received the point, and it says I received 5.9%. What about the rest? Anytime I resume and I continue, this grade will get automatically updated in MOM. Okay? And at the end of the semester, the whole thing, whatever percentage, so let me exit from here. At the end, 200 points times the percentage that you receive will be put in Canvas. So going back to the home page of Canvas, let me recap everything for you. This is the homepage of Canvas. Number 1 is the welcome message. Number 2 is the philosophy and course objective. Number 3 is the announcements. Then we went over the syllabus and modules, and under the modules you can find everything, and I'm going to look at that again. Under the discussion forum, there are 5 of them that are graded. You must do. And here's the office hours. You can find them here. Also, you can find them under the syllabus. Please don't mix this up with your meeting, which is under Tech Connect Zoom. So that's the homepage of Canvas. And I want to go back to the modules. Under the modules, the very first thing you find is My Open Math. This is where you register for My Open Math. My Open Math here, in order to get to it here, under the module right here, start registering. At the end of the module, you have resources such as formulas, tables, TI calculator information. Then you're concerned with exam one, you have the practice test, and the solution to practice test. In the middle, you have the PowerPoint. You start working on the practice test on a daily basis, 1 or 2 questions per day. You will never get behind, and you will get ready for your exam. And in my open math, you start with the introductory assignments. You don't worry about the exams. Make sure you don't pay attention to this due date and do them on a daily basis. Do 1 section per day. Module 0 would be the resources. You start with module 1, and each module starts with some videos and then the homework. So I hope that's clear to everybody. And again, back to the homepage of Canvas. I wish everybody best of luck. Happy study.